My name is Kaylee Christmas. I'm a student here at the University of Alabama. I'm a senior. I graduate in December. I'm a film and also a dance minor. I used to be a business major and also a dance major, but my roommate told me about filming and it was like, oh my gosh, like I literally do that. Like, why aren't I a film major? So I decided to switch it, obviously. I started this content creation around like 2019, but it really started to pick up around 2020. And then I want to say it really picked up to become like a really like a job, maybe like this year. I started to really get a bit more like paid collabs and stuff like that this year. Last year I got some, but definitely a lot more this year. But it actually really started when I was a kid. My parents gave me like a little like blue camcorder, and as a kid, I used to love watching iCarly. So I'd walk around and pretend to be like iKaylee, and
iCarly's the best.
exactly. I'd walk around the camera and basically like pretend to film myself, and I like play with my little Barbie dolls, and I'm like, we're playing with Barbies. And that's definitely what started it all. And I think around 2019, whenever like Instagram became like more popular, I started to post like a little bit more like Pinteresty type photos. And definitely in 2020 is when I got more of the following. I started getting like little gifted PR and stuff like that. And my parents were just like striving for me to push. And then in 2021, when I started college, I started YouTube. And I started posting on that and started doing like my college life. It's skyrocketed since there. It's a little bit about me.
So you've always had that passion. That's always kind of been there from the very beginning to kind of do this.
Ever since I was like literally 5 years old.
You said that started in 2019, 2020, around that time?
Yeah, 2019 I started like kind of doing little edits, like not really like vlogging, more like filming nature and then like editing. I used to go on YouTube and like teach myself how to edit, and that's really started like the love for like editing. And then I was like, oh, like I really like to do this. But I never really thought of like it as a job until I came into college.
Did the pandemic have an effect on that at all? Did that like kind of being stuck inside, not being able to go and do a whole lot outside the home or outside the house, maybe put more of an emphasis on being able to do that?
No, just because actually with COVID happening, it kind of helped me. I started off with like 2,000 followers, like all my friends, and then COVID hit. And then like I was like, oh, like I have nothing to do at home. Let me like make videos or whatever. And then that's kind of what helped me grow more on Instagram, not on TikTok. And I remember like going to Target and like taking photos. And then I'm like, I gotta post my followers and stuff like that. During COVID, I actually took the chance whenever I was out of school to go travel some. So that's kind of what started my love for like traveling and creating content. So I think that like COVID didn't really like make it harder for me. It actually really started my journey.
So what's the focus of your content? I know that you do a lot of different stuff. I was going through some of your channels. You do lifestyle, fashion, there's quite a wide array. Is there one that you focus on more than the other? Or do you kind of try and do all these different things at once?
Yeah, I definitely do a lot right now. And that's just because like I'm literally doing a lot with my life. But when I graduate from college, I want to focus really on travel and then some fashion because, I'm a girl, I like clothes. But I really want to focus on travel and fashion. Right now, I do some college stuff. I do some sorority stuff because I'm like I'm on the last semester and stuff like that. Like I'm just posting a few college stuff, but I'm posting more of the stuff that I really want to focus on. I've been getting more Airbnb deals and stuff like that. So I'm trying to like lean more towards that as I'm about to graduate from college. And I don't want like all my followers who followed me because of college to only expect me to post college stuff. So definitely travel is what I want to get into.
And you said you're starting to see brand deals come in too?
Yeah, it was funny because when I first started, it was like you had to pay a little bit. Like they'll give you a huge discount code, and I'm like, okay, like whatever, and you'll pay for it. And then I started with the gifted, and it was like you get a free product, and then you like do a video or whatever they want out of it. But now it's like I get paid, and as a little girl, I would have never dreamed of this. But like last year, I got paid some, and I was like, oh, like cool. But like now, I'm getting a lot more brand deals. I'm getting paid more. And I'm like, oh, like you can actually make this into a job.
No, that's awesome. That's always a fun point in your creator journey when you get paid for the first time. You're like, this is rewarding. This is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But that, is that part of also why you decided to switch from business and dance being your major to photography, right? Film and dance, because it just plays in more into building out your skill set for being a creator, right? So that's what you want to do after college.
Yeah, I actually was a business major because I wanted to be a dance studio owner, and
Okay.
I've always loved filming and like editing. And so that's when my roommate told me about filming, and I was like, why did I like a film major? Like I'd love to do that. And actually, being a film major taught me some of the editing skills that I use into my content creation. And I feel like I've done better in my content creation because I've learned things in school.
No, that makes sense. That's that's a transition that I think plays in very well to what you're trying to do. And then what platforms are you focused on growing this on? Is this something you want to do primarily on Instagram, or do you want to do this on TikTok or elsewhere as well? I saw that you're on YouTube too.
I would love to do any platform that I can. My main following is on Instagram. That's definitely where I focus the most on. I'm trying to grow more on TikTok and then YouTube. I'm trying to get a blog out there too. I'm working in the process right now. And the blog is kind of where I post like, travel tips or best Instagram spots, in this area, stuff like that. I slack on Pinterest, but Pinterest too. But definitely Instagram is my main platform that I feel like I focus the most on.
Do you have a strategy for that right now, or is it more or less just get as much content out there and see what sticks on the wall? Or do you have like a concrete plan for how you want to kind of tackle that?
Yeah, I post every day on Instagram besides Sundays. I don't post on Sundays. I post every day at 9 o'clock, or 9 a.m. I try to like switch swap. I try to do like an in-feed post and then like a reel because reels do really good. I kind of just like flip between those. And then on TikTok, I try to post once a day. TikTok's a little bit harder because it's like trying to create content like that.
Hmm.
With school about to start, it's a lot easier because I'm able to film like little days in my life and stuff like that, and they normally do really good. And then YouTube, I don't really have like a concrete plan. I used to have a concrete plan where I used to post once a week. Now with my travel videos here, I'm trying to edit them a little bit more professionally.
Hmm.
So they're taking a little bit longer. So right now I don't really have like a concrete plan on YouTube, but I definitely want to. Definitely when I get out of college, I want to focus more on YouTube as well. And then my blog post, when I get that started, I would like to make a blog every week as well. So that's kind of like my concrete plan.
Are you using any tools in particular, any software, any apps, anything to help you edit or put together videos? What kind of helps streamline the process for you?
So for my Instagram photos, I use Lightroom. I've created my own presets. I've kind of like, color graded and everything like that.
Hmm.
So I use that. For like short form videos, I can use DaVinci Resolve, or I can use like CapCut. Sometimes I'll edit in the TikTok app, but I really do not like editing in the TikTok app. I don't use any kind of like apps like Sprout or anything like that to kind of help me like my best times for Instagram to post or whatever. I honestly just go on my Instagram analytics and it tells me, hey, 9 o'clock is the best time. And I feel like I've kind of tested before I decided on 9 o'clock. I was like, okay, let me post at like 12 and see how well it does. And I feel like at 9, I get the most comments. I get the most likes right away, stuff like that. But I don't use like an app that tells me when the best time is to post. I kind of just figured that out myself.
Does that make a huge difference in terms of the amount of engagement that a post gets on Instagram, at least? Like, is it noticeable?
Not like huge noticeable, but I feel like if I post later at night, like I don't get a lot of engagement rather than when I post in the morning. I feel like most of my followers are from the USA, and I feel like most are probably from the Eastern time. So when I post at 9, my time is actually 10 their time. So by the time that like it hits lunch or their lunch break or whatever, then I'm like, I'm on their feed because I post earlier. I feel like I'm one of the ones that's on the top of their feeds. But when I post later, I just feel like I don't get a lot of people engaging in comments and stuff like that. But it's nothing like anything like dramatic. If I had to post at 12 o'clock for whatever reason, it's not like that's going to ruin everything.
Is there anything like with in-app editing that you think might actually help videos? Because there's a lot of like debate back and forth because Instagram and TikTok, they're always like very closed lip about it. They don't ever say, oh, if you use our captioning tool within the app, we'll actually promote that more versus if you use an external tool or if you use this overlay or this sticker. But some people say it does. Like, have you again noticed any difference between playing around with it, doing anything within the app for edits versus out of the app, or is it all kind of just the same?
To be honest, one of my most popular videos I've literally edited, put into TikTok, use the TikTok app, and then like the sound, and then put it in Instagram. So it's not like Instagram sound, it's like TikTok sound, but Instagram picked it up and it was like, oh, this is the sound that you're using. And it's my most famous reel. So it's like,
Okay.
I feel like no, but there are times where like I'll post and I'll get like 1,000 views, but then I'm like, okay, let me try using like a sound from Instagram. Like if I'm doing like a day in my life and it's just a music overlay, like I'll use the music from Instagram and then it like does a little bit better. So I just feel like it just depends. Maybe I haven't noticed anything that's like, oh, if I use TikTok or if I use Instagram, I do way
Right.
better.
Do you use any techniques like trend jacking, for example, or trying to figure out what's popular and trending, and then maybe trying to curate your content around that?
I honestly just scroll through TikTok. I feel like TikTok's one of the main trending areas. Instagram, you can scroll, but they're gonna be a little bit later on the trends than Instagram or TikTok will. TikTok, they're all on top of it, and then I go on Instagram like a month later, I'm like, that was like famous on TikTok like a month ago. I feel like if you just scroll and you find like, it depends on what niche you're wanting to do, but whenever you set up a new TikTok account or whatever, you can set up a like interest that you like. Say if you're fitness and you're scrolling on TikTok and you're getting some fitness stuff and you're seeing like, oh, this person has like, 100K likes, whatever. This obviously did well. Take some ideas and little tips from that and then create it as your own. And same thing if like, your fashion or whatever the case may be. For me, I'll scroll through TikTok and I'll find like a funny dance and I'm like, oh, gotta do that now. It's trending, like a funny sound or whatever it is. But I just feel like I just scroll through TikTok and that's what I find trending or not. So
And then do you have like a routine? Like, do you make lists of content ideas? Do you spend a certain amount of hours a day, like kind of going through and figuring out what you want to do? Or like, how do you kind of plan for, I guess, a piece of content is a better question.
yeah, basically I kind of what I normally do is kind of like I guess not organized, but I'll save
Hmm.
sounds. Like if I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that sound, like that this music is trending, I'll save it. And then when I go to create content, like say I have a Kodak brand, I'm like, or a brand deal, I'm like, oh, this would be cute with this sound kind of thing. It's like not organized, but I'm very organized in my brain. I definitely like I write down my to-do list and I'm like, okay, for Kodak, I want to do, going around campus and filming all of that. And then maybe I will do a voiceover because I know that I will edit a voiceover. And so that's kind of how I, come up with my content. If I'm like, okay, I want to do like an actual speaking, then like let me write a script. And then that way when I go to film, it's not like I'm all jumbled and all that. Normally, I just really save TikTok sounds and I'm like, okay, like when I go to film, for example, in Hawaii, I had like a bunch of sounds that I wanted to do. And I'm like, oh, let me check off all these sounds so I could do, film it, and that way I'm done, and that way all my content's done while I'm in Hawaii and stuff like that. That's honestly the unorganized way I do it.
Yeah, I was just curious because everyone has a different style about
Yeah.
going about it. I was talking to someone last week and they're like super hyper organized. Everything is like
Hmm.
color coded. They know exactly what days, what times, everything. And then other people are
Yeah.
just like, I'm going to go with what I feel.
Yeah.
And, everyone has their own approach to it.
Definitely how I do it.
So, how do you balance, being a creator and wanting to make that your career while also still being in college? Is that a distraction at all, or does it make it harder? Or does it actually kind of feed into it and give it more content? Because you are in college, it's a breeding ground for content.
I definitely don't find it hard. There are some days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm swimming in work, like content creation. And I'm like, like I had to film, but I'm like, I'm busy with this and this and this. But now that I have an internship with that division of student life, like yesterday, I went to go film Bid Day and I like filmed a little clip for that division of student life, but I ended up posting it on my own in TikTok because it's my own video. And it's actually one of my most famous views on TikTok right now. It has like 700 something K views. I have a drone, so I flew it up in the air. I was
Mhm.
approved to fly it, everything like that. So with this internship, I feel like, oh, I'm already creating content. I'm already editing. I can kind of honestly take that footage and use it as my own as well because I mean I filmed it. It's my footage. Especially with college, like I feel like I film days of my lives, stuff like that. But whenever I have to do like a YouTube like try on haul and stuff like that, I try to make sure like okay, I either have to wake up early or I had this break from class and we film at this time, or when I come home from my internship, let me make sure I film this and then I'll go eat dinner, stuff like that. But I try to be very organized and make sure I get all my stuff done. But most of it is short form videos and they're very easy to make and to edit. I can literally edit anywhere. So I'll be like in class, like editing. So balancing is really not that hard for me personally. I've always been a very busy girl, a very go, 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 go girl. So for me to balance school, my internship, and then also content creation, and then also travel on top of that, so then that way I could create more travel content, it's really not a big deal for me. But I know for some people it's like, that's so much. But I've always been a go, go, go girl. So
Nice. Have you found other creators or influencers on campus to maybe collaborate with as well? I mean, I'm sure there's other ones there too.
talked to Lauren Norris, which is one of the most famous like YouTubers on Alabama. I was wanting to actually be her intern to like take photos for her and stuff like that. I saw her, but none of them really like have reached out to me to collab, and nor have I. I've
Mhm.
seen Mary, another girl who's more on like TikTok side. She's like a cheerleader. I've seen her around campus, but I never like stopped and said hi or anything like that. Most of the girls in my sorority, they kind of help me if I ever need like a girl or want to do TikTok with people. Like my sorority girls and friends are always there for me, so I've never really felt the need or want, I guess, to like reach out to another creator. But it's always been something I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun to do. I just never done it.
Okay, so you mostly have kind of been a solo act for the most part with your journey.
I've had one friend that's been trying to grow a little bit on TikTok and stuff like that. So I've been trying to help her kind of like that. Like I'm just kind of by myself, I guess.
Have you tried to leverage anything like Amazon Storefront or TikTok Shop for some of the brands or the brand deals you get? Or have you explored creating your own fashion line at some point or your own type of clothing? I'm sure that's a direction maybe you're thinking about.
Yeah, I feel like definitely creating my own t-shirt, something like a cute little, graphic tee or something would be so cute in the future to do, like stickers, stuff like that, like little merch. I think it would be an absolute blast to do. I do have an Amazon storefront. I love promoting that. I don't promote it as much. I need to promote it more, but I have a lot on my Amazon storefront. I have like, lists where I have like sorority stuff ideas or, travel stuff or stuff that you need for whatever. And then I also have photos and videos of outfits that I get from Amazon companies, and I basically post it. And in that way, if they're like, oh, I'm interested in this top, they can see me in it, and they're like, okay, that could work on me, or no, that doesn't really work on me, but it looks good on her, kind of thing. I definitely have that. I'm trying to get on TikTok Shop. You have to have 5K apparently followers for that, and I'm almost
Mhm.
there. So if I can get there, then I can have a TikTok Shop.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on TikTok Shop. It's very effective, I guess, and it's awesome that creators can work with these big brands and have that open access and those affiliate commissions. But it's
Yeah.
also kind of like spammy, like as a user. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten like the same nugget ice maker, anchor charger, like from another creator, like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Quite annoying, but I do think the future is probably there for fashion, right? And being able to sell products.
I think that'd be so fun. Like, or like travel, something like along those lines. I think that'd just be a blast.
What are some tips that you would offer to other aspiring creators out there based on maybe some things that you've learned the hard way in your creator journey that maybe you did wrong at first or you just didn't do right, but that you learned from?
Definitely join a community. My friend was a little bit bigger following than me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have this community. Like, you need to join it." I was like, "Yeah, like I'd love to." And I've met some of the sweetest girls ever, and we always hype each other up. Like they're commenting, they're engaging, I'm commenting, they're like I'm engaging, stuff like that. And I feel like because of this community and the engagement, it helps push me out more, which then finds other people that can also engage. And I feel like joining a community can get you started in the right way. Like I'm a part of this one community that has a little bit of less followers, and I'm like, commenting all that, and they're starting to gain because of the community that we have and the engagement
Hmm.
that we have. I also feel like the other tip is just keep posting. I know it probably would get, very tiring posting every day, taking photos, all of that, creating content, videos and stuff like that. Just keep doing it. Just keep posting. If this is something that you want to do, just literally keep doing it. And then my other third, I guess, tip would be bulk create. I don't look pretty every day. There'll be some days where my hair is up, I don't have makeup on. I feel like the days that like, my hair's curled, my makeup's on, I try to get all the content done that I need to in that day. Like instead of filming one TikTok a day, maybe film like 3 TikToks one day, and then that way you're done for 3 days rather than filming a TikTok every day. I feel like when people do that, that's when they get burnt out because they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing this every day. Whereas I'm like trying to bulk edit, I can have a
Hmm.
few days to kind of like rest, like a weekend or whatever for like a normal work job or stuff like that. So I feel like those are my 3 tips would be join a community, post every day, just keep going, and also bulk do it. Like bulk, create content.
Those are good tips. Where would you recommend someone looking for a community? Like, can you do that like online in certain places, like in groups, maybe on Facebook or X, or I'm not sure. Where would you look? You're the expert, not me.
For me, it was really easy because I joined one community, and that's what started to join multiple communities. I had another community. They emailed me and they're like, "Hey, we have this community. You want to join?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it definitely got very easy for me.
Mhm.
But definitely like TikTok, like I've seen so many girls like, "Hey, like I want to join content creation, but I don't know where to start." Like, and then they're able to join a community that way. I feel like Facebook would be another way. Like I feel like I'm going on Facebook and I'm like joining Bama girls, like buy so trade stuff. So I feel like you can join that way too. I've never done that, but that definitely will probably be another way as well. Definitely like if you have a friend that is a content creator or whatever, join and like have that relationship. I feel like whenever I have relationships with other content creators or brands, the more my name goes out there, like, oh, we love her, like she's great, stuff like that. So just be nice to everybody, and just put out your best work and try to get to know everybody, even if they have 10K following, but the other person you just met and the
Mhm.
100K following, don't treat them differently, because one day that 10K girl will be just up to 100K, and you're like, oh, well, could have been good friends with her. So just be nice to everyone and meet everyone as possibly as you can. So I feel like that would be like my little tip.
And then what's the single most viral piece of content that you've ever created? And was it a random thing, or did you notice that you did something different?
Right now, I'm gonna do two, because right now I have one, but that's just because it's Bama Rush. But the one that I have is on Instagram. I think I have like 62K views on it. I have like 27K likes and stuff like that. For Halloween, my roommate and I would dress up as Buzz and Woody. And I love the movie Toy Story, so I just like looked up a sound if they had like, a little snippet of the movie, and I made my friend and I like act out the movie, and it went viral on Instagram, and that's what gained me a lot of followers actually on Instagram as well. And I feel like for me, what made it so good was that it was like comedy in a way. Like people wanted to
Mhm.
watch it because it's like, oh, that's funny. And so it made people want to like comment or save or like. Basically, any type of engagement pushes you out more. So it's like I felt like I created something that a lot of people would like, no matter if they're a fashion niche or travel niche or whatever. It was just content that anybody could have enjoyed. And then the one that I'm going viral right now, it has like I think almost 800K now. I have two of them. They're both from Bama Rush. So Bama is obviously the one main sorority recruitment, and
Mhm.
Bama Rush is really huge. And I went to go film for Division Student Life because I'm the student intern, and I filmed some clips. And then I also took my drone out. I was the only drone there because I was approved to do it and everything. And so I posted two videos. One is the girls opening up their bid, and the other one is drone view. And they're doing very well. And I think that's just because, Bama Rush is really huge.
What is
But
Bama
also,
Rush?
so in sorority recruitment, it's a one
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's that 1 week process for potential new members to find their sorority, their home, and all of that. And
Mhm.
bid day, they go into the stadium and then they open up their bids, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, I got the sorority that I wanted," and stuff like that. And I was able to film it standing, looking at the P&Ms, so I was able to give them like a different perspective as like a girl being like, POV shot. And so I feel like that one got very well because of that. But my drone view, I was the only person who had a drone. And not a lot of people were able to see like a drone view of Sorority Row and what it looks like and how crowded it is. So I feel like
Mhm.
that one got really well, or did really well, because it was like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen a skyline view of, Sorority Row. And I've noticed on both of those, a lot of people reposted. And I think that right there kind of helps me get out there more, is because of the reposting and saving. The drone one has saves, but the other one of the girls opening the bids has more comments. I feel like if a
Mhm.
lot of people comment, like that one has like almost 200 like comments on it. I feel like when you're looking at, you scroll through a video and you want to look at the comments. When you're looking at comments, the video in the background is playing. So it's
Mhm.
like if you have comments, I feel like that's going to push you out more because people want to read those comments. So,
So you graduate in December, right?
yes, I do.
So after that point, you graduate college. What does the future look like? I know you want to make this, your career and you want to do more with it. Do you have like a goal in mind, like a certain amount of followers you want to reach or a certain amount brand deals you want to do? Like, do you have anything set in stone, or are you just going to kind of see what happens?
I would definitely love to take this and make this like my actual job. I love doing it. To be honest, it doesn't feel like a job. Like how much money I get paid, I'm like, oh, cool. I definitely want to become more of a travel content creator. I would like to get more Airbnb deals. I would like to try and, promote more kind of travel and stuff like that. I would love to get brand deals with like, airlines or like Expedia, something like that. That would definitely be a dream. I would like to try to live on the road and live full time, constantly traveling, and making a living for myself that way and just experiencing life while also being able to film and capture it for other people. I know there's people out there that can't travel as easily as some can. So those videos are like, that's their way of seeing the world. And so I just would like to do that full time, as I really do love to travel and I really do love to create content. And I think both of them mix would just make me very happy.
Well, it sounds very exciting. Where can people keep up with you on that journey? You're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, YouTube. What's your handle?
TikTok and Instagram is the exact same thing. It's Kaylee.Christmas. Kaylee, Kaylee, and then period, and then Christmas, just like the holiday. My last name is actually Christmas, and then on YouTube it's just Kaylee Christmas, no period or dot or anything like that. So that's where you can find me.
Last name Christmas, graduating in December. That's pretty cool.
I know. That's what some people say. They're like, oh, one of the else who graduating in December. I'm actually graduating one semester early. I'm a 4-year girl, but I did some classes in the summer. So
awesome. Well, Kaylee, this has been fantastic. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your story and your experience. And I'm sure it'll be very helpful for a lot of other people out there as well. So yeah, thank you again and look forward to getting this published.
well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.